Hey everybody, it's Dave back with Blockbuster Underground, back today with a movie review. This one's not out for a little while, but I did manage to see a copy of it early. Gladiator II. Yeah. Um, Honestly, when they first announced this movie, I was kind of like, what? Because obviously, anyone that hasn't seen Gladiator, spoiler, 25-year-old movie, Russell Crowe dies at the end of the movie. So, it was kind of a head scratcher saying, like, well, cool Roman, swords and sandals sort of thing, but how do you make a sequel to this? Um, Basically, this is going to be pretty much spoilers here, so be warned, guys. The premise is the movie opens and you get the title cards saying, Rome's back to its normal thing where it's just wiping out everybody, trying to gain as much land and power as they can. Way far cry from, Rome is for the people and, all the stuff that Maximus was trying to get put together with Marcus Aurelius before Commodus fucked it all up. So it's 20 something years later. Um, Lucius, the little kid from the first movie, has obviously grown up now. He's got a wife. He's living in Namibia, I think it is. And the Romans invade, led by General Acacius, played by Pedro Pascal. And they storm the city and just slaughter everybody. In the process of the fight, Acacius actually orders one of his soldiers to kill Lucius's wife, and she gets an arrow through the chest. You see that in the trailer. He's lying in the water, cradling her, and she's dead. Um, so right away, Lucius is like, "Fuck this guy! I want his head." He ends up getting caught as a prisoner of war and bought by Denzel Washington's character, who is basically the Oliver Reed Proximo character in this one. Oh, it starts that way. Uh, Wait till you just wait. So he gets caught, trained as a gladiator, gets put into the arena with the other gladiators. The first fight is actually in the same arena that the first fight in Gladiator 1 was in, with like the orange sort of canopies and stuff all around it. They end up fighting a bunch of like crazed orangutans or baboons or something. And these things are fucking vicious. Like they're jumping on guys, ripping their throats out and shit. And fucking Lucius is fighting one of them and basically bites it and scares it so much it fucking runs away from him. And then later on, one of the guards is like, "I know you. You're the one that eats monkeys." So he basically proves that he can fight, and they get called to Rome because of Acacius's victory, taking over Lucius's town. The the emperors. There's two of them now. Joseph Quinn plays one of them. I'm not sure the other guy, but they're brothers, basically just absolute pricks. Um, they're running the whole show now, and they're like, "We're gonna have 90 days of games in honor of the combat and the victory you just had at Cassius." And Cassius like, "I don't want games. I don't want to go home to my wife." And Joseph Quinn's like, "Well, you got to beat this place and this place and this place and this place, and then maybe we'll talk." And Cassius is like, "Fuck this place, man." So he goes back to his house, and he's married to Lucilla, Connie Nielsen, Lucius's mom. Yeah. So turns out that Acacius actually has the same plan that Maximus was going to go through with in Gladiator 1, where he was going to bring his troops in that were loyal to him, overthrow the emperors, and take back control of Rome to the people. So at this point, they go to the Gladiator arena, and they before that they have there's a party or something before the games start, and Denzel brings in um, Mescal, Lucius, and he's like, "This is my new gladiator. Anybody want to wait? Play some bets?" And Lucius ends up fighting this guy right in the middle of the freaking party in the palace and kills him. And the Emperor Joseph Quinn's like, "Whoa, wait, where are you? What's your story?" And he quotes some poem, and nobody has ever heard of it before. It's some really old thing about life and death and everything. Um, During the first arena fight, Quinn, Lucilla's there with Acacius watching, and Quinn starts reciting the poem, and Lucilla recognizes it, and she's like, she suddenly clicks and she's like, fuck, that's Lucius. So she goes to Acacius and she's like, you've got to save him from the gladiator arena because they're going to wipe him out. They're going to kill him. And so Lucius basically wants to kill Acacius for killing his wife. Acacius is now, by Lucilla, forced to try to save Lucius. So they get this whole plan put together where Acacius is going to spring Lucius, and then they're going to meet with Derek Jacobi and the other senators. The army for Acacius is going to come in. They're all loyal to him, like Maximus's army was loyal to him before. And they're going to take over. They're going to overthrow the emperors, get rid of them, and take back control. The only problem with this is that Lucilla's little housemaid overhears the whole conversation and goes to tell one of the senators, one of the greasy senators, what's up. And he in turn tells the emperors. So the whole plan goes to shit. Acacius is caught. All his troops that he was marching into the arena to save Lucius with are killed. Lucilla's arrested, and she's basically going to be put to death. And Lucius is still obviously a gladiator. So there's another battle where they flood the arena. You've seen this in the trailers, but they flood the arena and it's ship combat, and there's sharks swimming around, and anybody that falls over the side of the boat is just eaten immediately. There's some hungry sharks. So that whole thing goes on, and then after that, Lucilla goes to meet Lucius, and she's like, you're my son. He's like, I don't remember my mother. You're not my mother. Blah 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 blah. They end up actually coming to terms with it and accepting the fact that yeah, I am Lucius. And turns out Maximus was his dad. Lucilla apparently was put into a arranged marriage when she was 14 to some general who was more into guys than girls, and then nothing ever really happened. She took a bunch of lovers along the way, one of them being Maximus, who in turn is the father of Lucius. Yeah. So Denzel the whole time, you think he's on par. Like Proximo's a pretty cool guy in the end. Denzel is basically plotting a way for to overthrow the emperors himself, and basically there's a whole scene where they almost try to kill Lucius and don't, and it's like the thumbs up, thumbs down thing, and the whole crowd turns against them. And there's like chaos in the streets, like fires getting set. The civilians are all rioting. The emperors are all holed up in their castle, like scared, and Denzel's there with them, and ends up killing Joseph Quinn, and then basically putting the little simp brother, who apparently at one point they say he's got syphilis. He's kind of losing his mind. He's a complete whack job. He gets put in charge of everything and makes Denzel like his, second in command. So Denzel basically has control of everything. So Denzel's plan is he's going to kill Lucilla, which will end the rioting because there will be nothing less to riot for because the queen has been killed, and then he can then take control. So the way they're going to do it is they have Lucilla carted into the middle of the Colosseum, and then she has to. Oh wait, no, I forgot one of the most important parts. They put Lucius against Acacius, and Acacius, obviously, Lucius wants to fucking kill him for what he did to his wife. Acacius, in the meantime, is trying to reason with him because he knows who he is, and he's like, "Look, your mother wants this. We got to get this figured out, and we got to save you." And they're fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and finally they come to a standstill, and Acacius basically surrenders and kneels down in the middle of the Colosseum, and Lucius kneels down in front of him, and they kind of have a little chit chat, and Acacius explains what's going on. And then just as we're about to get the two of them teaming up together finally, the Emperor, Joseph Quinn's like, yeah, thumbs down, and all these archers surrounding the arena just open fire on Acacius and just fucking turn him into a pincushion. Like 20, 30 arrows, and he's dead. So next thing you know, Denzel's like talking to Lucilla, And he's like, yeah, we're gonna have you executed, and I'm gonna take control of everything, and fuck it all, I'm gonna run the show. So his plan is to have her carted into the middle of the arena, and the Praetorian Guard go in to kill her. And one gladiator is allowed to defend her, and of course, it's Lucius. However, he's got another side plan going on here where, hey, all the other gladiators that he's been fighting with for this whole time are like, they're all chum chum. So he's like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. If you don't want to be involved, go back to your cells. And all of them are like, we're with you. And they start chanting like strength and honor, strength and honor. And it's like, oh my God, yeah. So Lucius walks into the arena, and the Praetorian Guard are all kind of surrounding Lucilla. And before they can even start doing anything, all the gladiators come storming in from the off screen and start attacking all the Praetorian Guard, slaughtering them all. So Lucius makes his way through. Derek Jacobi gets killed during this fight too. He's chained up too because he's one of the good senators. He gets killed. Lucius gets up onto this like big fucking standee thing. They've got Lucilla tied to this post, and he's like trying to figure out how to free her. Meanwhile, Denzel grabs a bow and just goes and right into her chest, kills her. Fucking Lucius is off the charts. Denzel fucks off because he knows he gets told that Acacius's army is coming and they're going to be at the city gates soon. So he sends all the troops, his Praetorian Guard, to intercept them. The They all meet like near the gateway to Rome, and Lucius shows up, and he attacks Denzel. Big huge fight. Denzel's like trying to stab him, and he's wearing Maximus's armor at this point. So Denzel's trying to stab him, and the silver emblems on the armor are like basically bulletproofing him from swords, whatever. You know what I mean? So he gets up out of the water and fucking slices off Denzel's hand, and then stabs him, and then basically drowns him and kills him. And has a big speech near the end to all the Roman soldiers, and he's like, this is what Marcus Aurelius wanted. This is who I am. I'm the Prince of Rome, mother of Lucilla, son of Maximus, and obviously a bunch of these soldiers have all fought with Maximus and know him because he's a fucking legend. And basically brings back the peace to Rome that they were trying to get for the last 20 something years. Winds up, he goes to the arena and basically says a prayer saying, help me, Father, show me the strength to be able to do all this moving forward. And he grabs a handful of sand, just like Maximus used to do. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. It was really good. Like I said, I was really on the fence about this as to whether or not this would make any sense whatsoever, considering the amount of time between, and the fact that like Woody, your main character from the first movie, is dead. Like Woody's, huh? The amount of twists they put into this, like making Acacius married to Lucilla, and then had the whole thing with Lucius wanting to kill Acacius because Acacius killed his wife, but Acacius is basically his stepfather now, married to his mom, and then Denzel's supposed to be the proximal guy. He ends up being the absolute fucking major villain of the whole fucking picture. Uh, the twists were absolutely outrageously good. The action was really top notch. There's a fight. They showed in the trailer too that he fights a guy on a rhino. That was, I think, that's the first fight in the arena. And then they got the one where the water, and then they have one where Acacius, after he gets caught, has to go in and fight like 7 Praetorian guards, kills them all, and then they're like, okay, fine, send in Lucius, and that's where all that shit goes on. And then obviously the Praetorian guards versus the gladiators trying to save Lucilla. Some really good action, set pieces, um, very reminiscent to the first one. The first fight, like I said, is in the same arena that the first fight in Gladiator 1 was in. The Coliseum looks just as good as it did. Um, the the fight effects. I mean, there's blood splattering everywhere, heads getting lopped off, arms getting lopped off. Everything you would expect from a Gladiator movie. There's one scene in the beginning invasion when the Romans attack Namibia, where some guy gets just fucking pinned by one of those massive arrows, and like just out of nowhere, it's brutal. But Really, really good movie. I was really impressed. Hans Zimmer does not do the score. It's Harry Gregson Williams, who's a longtime collaborator with Hans Zimmer. Worked on The Rock and a couple of other pictures. So the score is, there are definite tracks in the score that are exactly the same as from Gladiator 1, like the Now We Are Free, the da 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 da. But incredible. Beyond, I had very low expectations for this going in, just based on the whole, like, what the fuck are they going to make a sequel for this from? Very pleasantly surprised. Very pleasantly surprised. Paul Mescal as Lucius was amazing. Haven't seen him in much at all, but really good. Pedro doesn't have a huge role in this, but his character, there is an arc for his character, kind of like thrown in your face, but really well done. Connie Nielsen back as Lucilla. Denzel just kills it as the proximal character. Joseph Quinn is pretty slimy as the Emperor. Overall, really great though. Comes out on the 22nd in in North America, same day as Wicked. So I'm still waiting to see if it's going to be the new Barbenheimer or, as I call it, Gladwick, where people are going to see both back to back. But anybody who was on the fence about this movie, not sure what the fuck, Gladiator 2, like, huh? Like you can see in the background there, I got a Gladiator poster on the wall back there. One of my favorite movies. I saw it in the theaters 4 times when I was living in Florida back in 2000. Amazing film. Bought it first chance I got to find it on 4K. I bought it, and it looks amazing in 4K. That being said, if you're on the fence about this one, trust me, it's worth it. Definitely worth it. See it on the biggest screen possible. I wouldn't recommend. I don't see there being any point in seeing this in 3D, but an IMAX screening would definitely be what I would recommend. Really, really, really good movie though, and like I said, beat my expectations over the head with a bat in regards to how good it was. Because I was expecting some pretty schmaltzy, like trying to. There are certain beats in the film that mimic the first movie. It's kind of like with Top Gun Maverick. I said that to the wife. She was like, "Don't tell me any fucking spoilers. I'll kill you." But there are some beats in the story that match the original. Like he's off and then he gets caught, and then there's the gladiator thing. Denzel being the proximal Oliver Reed character, the corrupt emperor, the whole plan of giving Rome back to the people, putting it under control of the Senate rather than the emperors. But it had enough twists, and the acting was good enough to really kind of make those moot points at all. Some people will definitely notice it. Some people may take not offense to it, but they may not appreciate it because it seems like a rehash, but it's not. But it is, but it's not, if you catch me. But either way, 2 thumbs up from me. I would say the first movie, in my opinion, is a 10 out of 10. This would be probably a high 8s, low 9s. Just based on the fact the story beats kind of did repeat from the original movie. But definitely worth seeing. Definitely worth seeing in theaters. This is going to be a day one 4K purchase for me when the disc comes out. Hopefully, probably November, probably early next year will be the 4K release. Digital will probably be December, no, probably January-ish. Depends how well it does in theaters, quite honestly. I mean, the box office basically bestows all upon every movie now. You bomb at the box office, aka The Crow. You go on to digital almost right away. Borderlands, another example. Um, Deadpool and Wolverine took a little longer, obviously, because that was making bank at the box office. But this one, definitely worth checking out. I did a trailer reaction. I'll actually link it up on this video so you can check that out if you haven't seen it. But definitely worth checking out. Obviously, it's not out yet, so you can't really comment below and say what did you think of it. It is playing overseas in certain locations now. But like I said, the 22nd of November, it opens in North America / Canada. So I would recommend, if you've got nothing to do, if it's a snowy weekend, we haven't got any snow yet, fingers crossed, we don't. But definitely a worthy check out movie, and you can do a hell of a lot worse than this film for sure. Anyway, in the meantime, subscribe down below, please subscribe. I think probably about 95% of my people watching these videos don't subscribe. I'm not going to charge anything for this channel ever. I'm not going to Patreon. I'm not going to do paid ads or any of that bullshit. It's just going to be me in the cave, talking movies, talking games, talking collectibles, you name it. But let me wrap this up for now. 20-minute video, decent really amount of time. So I'll post this up. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and once you've seen the movie, comment below. Let me know what you thought. If you thought it was really good, like I did. If you thought it was kind of a bit of a repeat, rinse, repeat from the original. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll catch you on the next video.